Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here for Beltway Boxing News and Notes. And we're back this week with another edition of News and Notes. We had to take a week off last week because a lot of things going on in the personal life of yours truly. Primarily, we had not one but two graduations in the family. My youngest daughter graduated from middle school and my oldest daughter graduated from high school, all in the same week. So we had people coming in from out of town, a lot of craziness going on. Plus, I was finishing up my school year as a teacher this week as well. So just the close of another school year. So a lot of things going on. So we're going to catch up on some results from the previous week. Try to get you ready as best we can for the card coming up on Saturday, June 17th. We'll bring you to you live from the Coppermine Du Burns Arena in Baltimore, Maryland on Saturday, June 17th. And we also have a preview of what's coming up the following week. We'll give you an early preview of that. Some Beltway boxers will be on the road in the next week or so as well. Boxing on the Beltway News and Notes were brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain to muscle strain and everything in between, Boxing Along the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. If you go to www.freepainoffer.com, get $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. We're going to catch up again, as we said, on some of the late results, and these results took place on the weekend of June the 10th, June 9th and June 10th, and that starts off with the tough loss, a tough loss on national television for Laurel, Maryland super middleweight Damon, the best at it, Nicholson. He lost a very tough 8-round split decision to undefeated Steve Mr. Rose of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That was at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York, and that was on the Showbox telecast during the International Boxing Hall of Fame weekend that took place up in that area. Nicholson, he really got off to a really good start in the bout. He caught Rose with a right hand early on, but Rose countered with that right hand in that first round, and he dropped Nicholson to the canvas late in the round. Now, Nicholson did a great job staying in the bout, and I think many times he did have enough offense to really put him ahead in the bout. And a lot of people are saying that Nicholson got robbed with the decision. I'm not sure I'd go that far. I think it could have gone either way. A draw would not have been out of the question for me. But I expect to see a little bit more aggression from Damon Nicholson. And I think because of that, he may have lost that bout. He got one score on the judges' scorecard, 77-75, but the other two judges scored at 77-74. And I'm not sure I disagree with that, really. I think 77-75 would have been more to the point for my judges' scorecards. I think looks like a couple of judges didn't score that knockdown a 10-8 round. I can't say that he got robbed. I really can't. I think he just wasn't aggressive enough in the situation. If he won the bout, I wouldn't have had any complaint about it, obviously, but I wouldn't have complained about the judge's scorecard either in that case. But in a draw, as I said, wouldn't have been out of the question. But I don't think Nicholson got robbed. I just think he didn't do enough. It was razor thin, too, in my opinion, to get the nod. So, Damon Nicholson now 17-2-1, 16 KOs. Rose remains undefeated. He's 16-0, 9 KOs. Now, Nicholson's with DeBella Entertainment, and he's got 2 losses, although this was the first, I think, loss that really, I don't know if it hurts him. I don't know. Again, he faced an undefeated fighter. So I don't know whether or not the loss actually hurts him. It doesn't help, obviously, but I don't know if it puts him out of the running for any major bouts going forward. But he has to get back on the winning track immediately, and that means starting back with the local shows. He may have to do that. So we'll see what happens. Also on Saturday, June 10th, Lamont White, the super lightweight out of Washington, D.C., he could not extend his one-bout winning streak. He lost a 4-round unanimous decision to Tomas Romain of Brooklyn, New York. That was at the Claridge Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. White lost by scores of 40-36 and 39-37. Now, we mentioned last time out on the podcast that White had won his first pro bout. In his last outing, he knocked out Roger Belch at the Masonic Temple in Norfolk, Virginia back in May. But he couldn't keep it going, and he lost again by scores of 40-36 twice and 39-37. White has never been stopped in a bout. One of his losses did come by disqualification, but he's always tough. He usually is very tough and makes the other opponent, the prospect, usually makes him work. So White's now 1-8, 1 KO, 1 no contest, and Romain is now 3-1. Romain is out of, as I said, Brooklyn, New York. So that's a little catching up on some of the events that took place over the last couple of weeks. We can now turn our attention to Saturday, June 17th in Baltimore at the Coppermine Du Burns Arena. And quite frankly, we don't have a lot to talk about, unfortunately. The word I've heard about this card heading into Saturday, is that the card has been in one person's words, complete disarray. And that's because it's been tough getting bouts for a lot of the boxers on the card. And sometimes you have that. I mean, I know of very few cards over the years where from the moment the card is put together, everything goes completely, and the cards stay the same up until the night of the show. Very rarely do I see that. A couple of times here and there, you'll have a card, you'll have all the contracts in, everything is signed, everything's delivered, all the medicals are in, and everything that needs to be done to put a card together is all done, and nothing changes. Very rarely do I see that. But this has been, unfortunately, as I've heard, complete disarray. Now, the only bout of really any stature right now on this card that I can talk about is the bout for the UBF Bantamweight Championship. The champion is Tyrecia Lady Tiger Douglas out of Washington, D.C., and she will defend that title against undefeated Ebony Rivera of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And that's one of the big bouts on this card, and when I hear it's going to be a barn burner. People who know and have heard about Ebony Rivera think she's going to really give Tyrecia Douglas a major competition coming forth on June 17th. Douglas is a two-time, two-division champion in the UBF, the Universal Boxing Federation. She's won titles at both bantamweight and flyweight. And she steps in the ring for the first time since May of 2016, May 14th, 2016, when she won an 8-round unanimous decision over Nahi Torres. A very good bout that took place at the Maryland State Fairgrounds in Timonium, Maryland. You can hear that bout archived right here on the Box on Beltway. Google that for Android. It is a magnificent bout. No question about that. So Douglas hasn't fought since then. Rivera is a native of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 7-0, 3 KOs, and she competes for the first time in a title bout. She last fought in April of 2016 when she won a 6-round unanimous decision over Nancy Franco, and that was in her hometown of Fayetteville. And actually, Rivera is a native of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but now fights out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And quite frankly, that's the only major bout that I can really talk about right now. Travis Reeves is scheduled to defend his USBO light heavyweight title on the card. He has no opponent. Devin Butcher has an opponent, but I'm not sure if it's set yet, in all honesty. Tori Nelson was originally scheduled to be on this card. I've heard she won't be on this card now. So I don't know. I mean, it's just not a whole lot to really talk about at this stage about the card. Keep watching the blog, Box on Beltway. Google that, boxonbeltway.blogspot.com. Also watch program fighttalk.blogspot.com. If Juan Marshall and I have any kind of updates on it, we'll pass them along to you. But right now, we don't have a whole lot. We will tell you this, though. We'll be on the Box on Beltway, Google that for Android, and on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio.com beginning at 4:55 p.m. Eastern Time. The card, first bout begins at 5 p.m. Eastern Time from the Coppermine Du Burns Arena. So we'll be on here at 4:55 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Saturday, June 17th. From Du Burns Arena, Coppermine Du Burns Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. So make sure you join us, and hopefully between now and Friday, we'll have a full rundown on who's going to be on this card coming up on Friday. Now, a couple things in the future file. The South Atlantic and the PVA, South Atlantic Association USA Boxing, the Potomac Valley Association USA Boxing We're sending a grand total of 23 boxers to the Junior Olympic Nationals. That'll take place June 26th through July 1st in Charleston, West Virginia. Now, a couple weeks ago, we listed the names of the boxers from the Potomac Valley Association. The South Atlantic region will send the likes of Cornelio Phillips. He is the 11 and 12-year-older out of in the 80 pounds division. Jamie Robinson's out of 90 pound division, and 101 pound division, Tommy Cole. And again, this is a young man that I've been watching since he used to give exhibitions at the age of 3 or 4 or 5 years old. And now he's competing and doing very well. He's going to the junior nationals. And 101 pounds at the 13-14 age group. That's Muhammad Robinson will be there for that. In the 15-16 age group, Meon Davis, Jeremy Adorn, Xavier Ramirez, and Jermaine Royster. So those are the 8 boxers from the South Atlantic region that'll be heading to the Junior Olympic Nationals. And they'll join 15 boxers that'll be from the Potomac Valley Association. And once again, the Junior Olympic Nationals is June 26th through July 1st at the Charleston, West Virginia. I got some breaking news coming in. My partner Juan Marshall just gave me this. I'm just going to read it off the line here. Tom Brown, who is the CEO of TGB Promotions, and that's the promotional company that actually did one of the cards here at the National Harbor recently. He has filed a petition and paid the $20,000 consideration fee to the IBF on May 22nd, seeking exception to the mandatory so Hurd could face Trout first. Now, he gave the IBF the date of September 30th with the fight location being in New York, and Hurd and former world champion Austin Trout must agree in writing that the winner must make the mandatory defense within 90 days, by December 29th, 2017, or be stripped of the title. Now, the word I heard about that was I had heard that was a done deal, and to the point where the bout was scheduled to be the co-feature on the just officially named Adrian Broner Mikey Garcia fight at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Whether or not that's still the case, we don't know. But apparently we don't know. We don't know now. And again, since TGB has been through the MGM National Harbor, if you're not going to have it at the Barclays Center, have it in the area. Both guys, quite frankly, have ties to the area. Of course, Jared Hurd being from Accokeek, Maryland, and now Austin Trout has trained here numerous times, mostly with the Headbangers group. So, it would make sense to have a card here and feature them as the headliner and the main event as opposed to co-feature. But as of right now, we don't know. That's an interesting situation there. But once again, let me read this over once again. Tom Brown, who's the CEO of TGB Promotions, he's filed a petition, paid the $20,000 consideration fee to the IBF, seeking an exception to the mandatory so that Jared Hurd, the IBF super welterweight champion, can face former world champion Austin Trout first. He gave the IBF the date of September 30th. Brown gave the date of September 30th, with the fight location being New York. I would assume Brooklyn, Barclays Center. Hurd and Trout must agree in writing that the winner must make that mandatory defense within 90 days or be stripped of the title. So this is a voluntary defense. Should Hurd take it, and then he's got to make, if he gets past Trout, he's got to make that mandatory defense. And if Trout wins, he has to make the mandatory defense by the end of this year. So we'll keep you posted on that, both on Box on the Beltway and on Pro and Fight Talk. Give you the details on that as well. Now, on Saturday, June 24th, that's 1 week from Saturday, we've got a number of boxers heading to Philadelphia for a very familiar place, the 2300 Arena, for another King's Promotions card. Now, King's Promotions just did the June 3rd card here at Rosecroft Raceway, and you all heard that on the Box on the Beltway Google app for Android. 6-round contest, a bout that was actually scheduled to be here on that June 3rd card, between Marcus the Dream Crusher Brates out of Washington, D.C. He's a featherweight. He'll take on Roberto Escorpion Pucheta of La Villa de Coramboro in Jalisco, Mexico. Now, Bates is 6-0-1, coming off a very explosive 6-round TKO over Alex McGee. That was on the February 11th card at Rose Garden Raceway. That was the bout where Bates caught McGee coming out of the corner and just knocked him down like 2 seconds into the sixth and final round. Incredible knockout there. One of the best knockouts of 2017. Pacheta, who's 10-11-1 with 6 KOs. He'll be taking on a Beltway boxer for the second straight time. He lost 6-round unanimous decision to Kevin Rivers Jr., who made his return in that bout back on May 24th in Santa Monica, California. So Pacheta couldn't compete on June 3rd. He was deemed unfit to compete. Again, there may have been something, he may have gotten injured somewhat in the bout against Kevin Rivers. I don't know, but it obviously was not able to keep him out of this bout. So it looks like Bates will take on Pacheta on Saturday, June 24th at the 2300 Arena. Also, Gregory Glizzy Clark, the super welterweight out of D.C., he'll take on Daryl Dream King Bunting of Asbury Park, New Jersey, by way of Marietta, Georgia, and that'll be in a 6-round bout as well. Clark is 2-1-1, 1 KO. That one draw was that 6-round majority draw that he had against Donald Wallace on May 12th at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. You heard that bout on the Box On Bout with Google that for Android. So Clark will try to bounce back a little bit from there. Bunting is 3-1-2, 1 KO. He'll try to build off a 4-round unanimous decision victory over Juan Zapata. That was on November 11th in Chester, Pennsylvania. That was a bounce-back win for Bunting because he had just lost his first pro bout in the previous contest. Bunting will be competing for the first time in a 6-round encounter. So we'll see what happens there. Now, in 4-round bouts, Jordan Kid Peters out of D.C. just fought on that June 3rd show. He'll take on Pretty Boy Chase Nelson of Dayton, Ohio. And both these guys had their last win against the same guy. Peters, who's 2-0-1 with 2 KOs, he had to get off the canvas in the first round to score a second-round stoppage of Brian Perez Navarez. Good win for Peters. He came back strong in that situation. Perez Navarez could not come out for the third round. Meanwhile, Nelson also scored his last victory over Perez Navarez. He won a 4-round unanimous decision over him on May 12th at the Sugar House Casino in Philadelphia. The other Beltway boxer scheduled to be on that card will be Kobe Madison. He's the heavyweight out of Owings Mills, Maryland, 4-0, 3 KOs. He hasn't fought since February 4th when he won a first-round TKO over Lamarco Ellis in Wilson, North Carolina. So that'll be on Saturday, June 24th from the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Thanks again to Marshall Kaufman and King's Promotions for continuing to use our Beltway boxers. A few of them he has on the contract, including Marcus Bates. So I'm not sure if he has Kobe Madison on the contract, but I know he has Bates, possibly Glizzy Clark as well. But I know for a fact he does have Marcus Bates on the contract. So thanks again to Marshall Kaufman for keeping our Beltway boxers busy. So that will do it here for a very brief News and Notes podcast. Once again, we'll be broadcasting live from the Copper Mine Du Burns Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. Juan Marshall and I will have the call of the Shaw Style promotion. Actually, it's the Shabazz Brothers program. Just Shabazz Brothers by themselves. Shabazz Brothers promotion that'll take place on Saturday, June 17th from the Copper Mine Du Burns Arena. We're on the air in Baltimore, Maryland, and throughout the world, beginning at 4:55 p.m. Eastern Time. 4:55 p.m. from Baltimore for this great event. So look forward to hearing from you. Hope you can be there live at the Copper Mine Du Burns Arena. We'll talk to you then. Boxing on Beltway News and Notes brought to you in part by Real Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. I'm Gary Digit Williams. Thanks for joining everybody. Look forward to seeing and talking to you Saturday afternoon from Du Burns Arena in Baltimore, beginning at 4:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, thanks for listening. Always remember to keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Take care.